That doesn't work. Because there was nothing in... Well, there was this green stuff, but that was already removed in the episode Feral Scream, where it was replaced by pure maximal energy. Optimus Prime touched his chest, touched the spark, and that removed the feral part of Cheetor here. I'm going in a bit longer than this than I figured I would. Anyway, and if you were going to de-evolve him, you'd have to de-evolve him into that. Because it's hard, because... here, I'll look it up. W, down to YouTube. I'm going to put this down for a second so I can type real quick. And I'm going to keep going on about this. You can't de-evolve a Transformer. You can't actually do it. Let's see. Here we go. Let's see if I can get this video. There we go.
We're here, Cheetor. All of us. Your friends. We know you can do it.
And see, here it is. This is the cleansing part when Optimus touches his chest and touches Cheetor's spark chamber. There we go. See, there's the Oracle's energy. And then there's the feral part. There it is right there. There's the feral part.
Cheetor. Maximize. Maximize.
And then there we go. That's Cheetor becoming not feral anymore. And then here's the part. Time to shred some pred. This is how we learn he is awesome. Here we go. Transmetal. Scenes Optimus go down. And then here's the feral part. Here's him evolving. See? It actually punches through the Transmetal armor and changes him physically. See, there's the awesome Transmetal Dinobot, which I wish was a Maximal. I loved his character. And then see, here he is. He's changing. He's evolving. And look at that. See? He's blown up. There's parts right there and right there. There's his foot and his thigh. He actually blew up from his other mode. You can't actually physically de-evolve them. You can't do it. And back to these guys. Oh, look, he fell down. You're a crappy toy. These three are perfect. You're in between. You're good. You're good. You're spindly thing that this entire video is focused around the science of you and how that works. Optimus Prime, another good example. He was completely blown up and given a Transmetal body. Brand new body, he emerged as a Transmetal. And then, with the infusion of a second spark, the most powerful spark in all of history, being Optimus Prime's, the original, he evolved into Optimal Optimus, a quadruple changer. And he got bigger, more enhanced weapons, and a whole bunch of other things. And there's a few points in that in the Optimal Situation episode where I wish Optimus would just blow Megatron apart and scrape him off the walls of the Ark, but he doesn't do that, which was kind of dumbfounded now that I look at it. All you need to know is that there is probably a dozen comic books / fanfics stating that Beast Machines didn't happen, and in fact, if you go through it, Beast Wars happened. If you go by Japanese, Beast Wars happened. Beast Wars Metals happened. 2 and Neo happened. Machines did not happen. This shouldn't have happened. We had a great, amazing story. Great, amazing characters. We lost characters. I personally cried when Dinobot died. He was my favorite character. He was that powerful. The death scene was that powerful. Because you grew up with this character, Dinobot. You grew up with him if you were at my age. You grew up with him. He was the tough rogue that everyone wanted to be. He was the character. Everyone loved him. Him and Rat Trap were like brothers. They were like how my brother and I bicker all the time. That's how we fight. We'd insult each other, but when we need it, we are there for each other, just as Dinobot and Rat Trap were. And he was more of a Rat Trap, I was more of a Dinobot. That's how you can compare us. We liked each other, we would tolerate each other, we'd despise each other at some points, we'd hit our crossroads, but in the end, we still love each other. That's what that character was, and we built on that, and when he died, I actually cried. That's how powerful that scene was. And then Megatron, he actually physically had the spark. He had both sparks in him, which doesn't make sense because that would have completely messed up the time stream, having a Megatron without any spark in him, but that kind of actually makes sense because he was that cold-hearted. Maybe he just doesn't have a spark. And, let's see. Megatron, when he blew up, didn't matter what body he would need a bigger body, which is why he was in the Optimal Optimus body. Which doesn't make any sense because when he was in the smaller bodies, they should have evolved and gotten bigger and more powerful because those bodies couldn't have worked. Like when he was in the scrapyard. If you notice, let's see, I'll look for this scene again. Let's see if I can find this video. Versus... Alright, here we go. Here's that scene. Okay, that thing. If you guys can actually see it, that is actually a Tarantulas. A Transmetal Tarantulas thing. See? There's Tarantulas' legs. Those are, in fact, Tarantulas' legs. His Transmetal Transmetal legs. Let's see if I can rewind that just a bit. God damn you. That's his arm. That is Tarantulas' arm. He has some kind of weapon thing.
Whoever you are, that was a big mistake.
Black Arachnia, another instance. Black Arachnia had that form, and then the Transmetal form, and then they de-evolved, well, the Transmetal 2 form, and they de-evolved the Transmetal 2 one. No, Black Arachnia physically died, and she was given a new life as a Maximal under the Transmetal 2 name. De-evolving her doesn't work because that would have had to given her a Predacon body. She was given new life that is technically a new character under a Maximal name. They would have had to de-evolve her. They couldn't have de-evolved her if that science worked at all. Let's see if I can get some... Yeah, you can like kind of see that if you've watched this, it actually kind of does look a lot like Tarantulas. Got some Matrix stuff going on.
We have to stop it.
Yeah, see, that's definitely a Tarantulas.
What is power? devouring this behemoth.
Yeah, see? Megatron has 2 sparks. He was in that thing, if you've watched Beast Machines. That should have evolved him and made him smarter. That should have made him bigger and more powerful. De-evolving them doesn't make any sense. You have to physically remove the sparks to make it make sense. This shouldn't have happened. Well, it could have happened if the Oracle just decided to rework the body from here to here. But why couldn't they have just cured the cure, because you could see that the Oracle could do it, and just leave the design just completely, or give them a brand new body, and just leave the design, because you know, this Cheetor is faster than any thrust. Look at the blades. It could move faster and cut them up into tiny pieces quicker than this thing ever could. And as a slight flashback, in the actual series, this thing has 2 swords, kind of applying from how this one had several blades. It just doesn't work. You can't de-evolve Transformers. You can't freaking do it. You can upgrade them. You can put them back to how they were, kind of, if you know what the hell you're doing. Like, here's another instance. Gundams. Gundams are a good example. Specifically, this series. The Wing Gundam gets upgraded, and it stays like that. And then we get a completely brand new one in the Wing Zero. And then the Wing Zero gets upgraded. You can't go back once you do that upgrade. You can't do it. Well, the Wing Zero Endless Waltz version is an OVA, so it kind of doesn't count, but the Death Scythe Hell goes from Death Scythe to Death Scythe Hell. And it doesn't ever go back to Death Scythe. You can't de-evolve it. You can't go back. This Beast Machines doesn't make sense. Their science does not work. I know how this stuff works. I've studied it. That's better. Anyway. This turns to this. This was blown the hell up when this thing got out. This cannot turn back to this, which turns back into which turns into this. It doesn't work. You can't do it. It's physically freaking impossible. You just can't do it. Keep your head up. You just can't do it. It's 9. Belay that. I can't stress how many times it does not work. This is going to be a tangent episode. It's almost a damn half an hour long of me ranting about how this doesn't work. This is annoying. This is stupid. The science of Beast Machines doesn't work. I have a recommendation. Watch Beast Wars. And then find someone's comic book to see how they get back on Cybertron and what the hell happened. Do not watch Beast Machines, because your head will start hurting once you've watched all of Beast Wars. This has been Decepticons Roll 24, and these 3 are good. This toy is kind of good, but the series it's connected to sucks! The big one sucks the biggest dick ever. And this is me signing off because I've been yelling and proving stuff a lot. So, an actual review is coming. Just trust me.